Welcome back, everyone. I wanted to make a video today to discuss the big question that I keep getting as far as when Doge will break out. When is it going to stop playing this tennis match between 18 and 20 cent? So, in short, if that's why you clicked on this video, Doge is going to break out. I'm going to show you right here, and then we'll go into details. Doge is going to break out somewhere between 72 and 73, and we're pretty much 72,000 and the all-time high for Bitcoin. That is ultimately what's holding the market back based off of the evidence that I'm seeing here, whether that be the push-ups that we're seeing, the rejections that we're seeing, and even the consistent retest that I'm seeing, especially for Dogecoin. Dogecoin is what you would call I guess revving its engine here at the 20 cent level. I mean, just consistently running up to test the waters. Every like pretty much every day, for the most part, we're running to test those levels here. So the market is obviously trying to price it in. Even if we take a look here at the big push down that we had a couple of days ago, where we pushed down to 17.99. Look at the wick to the downside before that candle formation. That is a strong no, right? That's like that's not like a no. That's a capital No as far as for pricing Dogecoin at around in the 17 cent range. And that wick formed and Doge pushed up and almost did an engulfing candle. So the market is really trying to price this in as far as for these assets going higher here. We were taking a look at the longs. Obviously, even right now, they're still over 70%. Doge has added about $1 billion to overall market cap. We'll take a look at that in a moment. But that is the big thing that is going to drive the additional capital into the market here. So that's going to be the biggest contributor to the market. Doge shorts, you guys know I love covering this. They have a special place in my heart. Have been pretty much a flat line, right? Like if you were looking at a heartbeat, you would be in trouble. They've been flat. So what does this mean? This means that they're looking at the charts, they're looking at where we are in the cycle, and they're looking at what the evidence and the price movement is telling them, and it's telling them that it is not wise to short this right now because the market, Doge is obviously making a great effort to price higher. So that's why you're not seeing confidence or a big green candle or something like people are saying, oh, the trend is weakening, it's going to collapse and it's going to go down. Even with the big push down we seen the other day, the shorts were unresponsive. Why? Because of that wick that I just was talking about and that big push up. If they'd have looked at that candle earlier in the day and said, oh, this is it. It's going into 17s, it's going to 15. Let's pile in right now. They would have got wrecked that same day a few hours later. So you have to kind of look at the signs here and say, hey, how often is this thing retesting? So retesting every day, that means that's the knocking on the door analogy that I gave on X and even in my community section here. It's going to keep knocking until eventually it kicks that door in. And same thing for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's doing the same thing. Bitcoin is wanting that all-time high. And for those of you who this may be your first video watching, the brilliant thing about all of this is everything's running early. Bitcoin set an all-time high prior to the halving. Dogecoin is running prior to Bitcoin's halving. The alts are running prior to Bitcoin's halving. Like everything's running much earlier here. We haven't even hit the meat and bones of the bull run. Like even based off if we're looking at history, that's the best part about all of this, because a lot of times people are being frustrated, like, oh my God, what's wrong with 20 cent? Why isn't Dogecoin breaking above it? Why is Bitcoin stalling out below 70,000? Like, don't forget, we are ahead of schedule. Like, you can't get mad at something that's running early and say, why aren't you doing more? Like, the patience is like I want to say it should be a sense of gratitude, but you have to understand where we are in the cycle. The fact that these assets are performing better and faster, and people are still saying, okay, more. Like, so we have to kind of keep this in mind. Like, the assets are doing, like, all of the levels that we've tested, whether that be for Bitcoin, for Dogecoin, the points of resistance, that 22 range, the 25, the 35, all of those levels, nothing has changed. Everything is still in play. We're just waiting on that the influx of capital to come into the crypto market. And we're going to see that probably within the next 30 to 60 days. That's going to be where a lot of the big capital is going to be start rolling in, and then we'll start these tests at these higher numbers. So, and the same thing I told everyone over the last few years that have been watching my channel, count this as opportunity. There's been a number of people, because Dogecoin is up 130% over the last 3 months. The best time to buy Doge over the last few years has been somewhere between 7 and this bottom line here. The last best time to buy this was obviously in like October, where you could have bought because we haven't revisited these numbers since, but this was the best time. This is where we kind of hovered at. If we want to go back through time, we hovered down here in these zones for the most part over the last couple of years. We had some runs up, but then we'd come back and retest until was this the Elon purchase? No. We had some run ups, but for the most part, the best time to purchase was around 6 to 8 cents. That was the absolute best. And when we look at this here and recognize that, hey, okay, well, the trend is changing, there's going to be points where you look at this and say, okay, that was the best time to buy based off of, for all the new people that are coming in. I know we're growing roughly by 100,000 wallets per month, but there's going to be a time for people that's coming in and say, hey, I'm just buying my first coins here. I'm just getting my first exposure to the market. You're going to be like, wow, that was the best time to accumulate. Because even if you purchased here at around 10 cents and we had that sell off, I know some people are like, oh my God, I should have waited, or we're going to go back to 6 cents. That'll be a 40% decrease. I'm going to get it back down here. We never saw 6 cents again. And the next time we saw 10 cents, we were blowing past it and we have not seen it since. So when we realize that where we are in the cycle here, when this goes, you probably are not going to see these numbers again until the bull run is over, right? And then we're deciding, then the market is trying to price in where the coin is going to consolidate for the bear market. So to kind of keep that perspective in mind, that some of these numbers that when you're seeing here, these retests and some of these support levels, like we may see these once or twice again as we're trying to break above like 25, or if there's like a big sell-off or something like that, we do a couple tests down here, and then it ascends to the next level. This is not something that it's always going to be here, and it's just a pump between like 20 and 25 and stuff. Like the market is bullish. The momentum here is building. You can see evidence of that, and we are early in the cycle. So please keep that in mind when you are factoring in the positions and stuff that you're looking to take, because where we are in the cycle certainly plays a big role. I'm going to take a look here at Bitcoin shorts really quick before I switch screens. Yeah, Bitcoin shorts are not even running in. They've been decreasing for the last 72 hours. The last 3 days, Bitcoin shorts have been coming out of their positions. Even though, let's take a look at the candle here, right? Because matter of fact, I want to slow down here. This is the last 3 days. You see the red candles here. They're coming out of these positions, even from up here. They coming out of these positions. And look at the candle. Even though the candle action doesn't look like much. But what is this telling you? What is this consistent retest telling you, and this push up here telling you? It's telling you that the market is trying to push higher. So that the tone of the market here, I believe, and even for the tone of the community, I believe that they are jumping the gun here with saying that, okay, the run is stalling and stuff like that. I think that we have to take a deeper look here at different evidence. Overall, I want to add that if we check the last video, we've added roughly around $1 billion in market cap. We're up 98% on the hour, almost 12% on the week, 0.44% on the day. Still 4 billion ahead of Timecoin, and a whopping 7 billion above Cardano. And only 4 billion separates us from USDC, which we've already leaped them earlier. Anything around like 22 cents or something like that will be leaping USDC. And the crazy part about this is there's only $1 billion separating USDC and XRP. So when this thing runs, if XRP doesn't get a substantial increase in capital, we'll be number 6. So that's very, I'm telling here, I believe. So if we take a look overall, even if we're looking at the chart price action, again, this is institutional money at its finest. Bitcoin, Ethereum, See, look how closely they are charting. And then you'll see similar patterns here with Doge. So the charts here are trending very closely together. So that makes a big difference to let you know where the money is coming from. You can see evidence of that in Cardano here, Avalanche. Even Shiba is doing a similar pattern. Polkadot. You have some divergences here with like Solana, Bitcoin Cash, Polygon. But for the most part, this is institutional money that's driving the market. So, and this is true of most bull runs. Technically, retail will get in there or they get excited about new numbers. But institutional money pushes the bull market. So we'll see the greatest influx of new investors or old investors taking additional positions when the coins start moving. And I know as an investor, that's not not gonna say always. It's almost never a wise thing to do. You're supposed to buy things around pivot points and consolidation periods, but people want evidence right then and there that is going to pump. And if it consolidates, they'll either sell, take profit, or wait for the next pump to buy more. So, and that's kind of like a bad habit that it's not just Dogecoin investors. A lot of people do it, but you're going to see probably 200,000-300,000 new Dogecoin wallets when we hit 25 cent, 30 cent, stuff like that. So it's very normal. And then in addition to that capital that's being pushed in by institutions, you'll see an even bigger push from the retailer coming in. And then of course they'll start writing articles and there'll be FOMO and all news, and they're going to push it. And then that's when we start sending to some of those higher numbers. And right around that time is when you're getting close to peak bull run. And obviously when we get X payments, certainly if that's before peak bull run, I don't even know what the effect of that's going to be. That's going to be absolutely crazy there. So, but again, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The biggest thing is what we're waiting on right now is obviously the breakthroughs. We bounce back from the negative news and the CPI numbers. We bounce back from the whale selling off. We bounce back from Bitcoin selling off. The market is pricing in higher. And that's the biggest thing that we have to kind of keep in mind here when we're looking at trends and what we're considering for this market. So for those of you who are, while you guys are waiting or looking at the charts and how they're pushing back and forth between 18 and 20, the biggest thing I would say is if you have not worked out your plan yet, as far as for percentages on profit, where you're going to take profit, all of those things matter significantly. So you should definitely be thinking about those numbers so that you're not coming up with them on the fly. Use this if you're not going to be accumulating, or if you're happy with your coin count, your percentage, and your multiplier, and you have some numbers here. Start doing your process as far as for plan A, plan B, right? You know, if you're saying I believe that if you believe that we're going to get to, let's say, $2 this bull run, right? Let's just say we start peaking somewhere around like $1.50. What's your plan B? Are you simply holding and waiting to add to $2, or is there a plan B? Start thinking about all of these things here so that especially those of you that have been here since 2021 or have gotten in after during the bear run, and you've been waiting on this time here, the next bull run. Come up with your plans here so that you have something solid to actually maneuver the market correctly, so that you're not just kind of guessing and flying by the seat of your pants. I think that'll do best for a lot of people. I'll be creating some content around that soon, because I think it'll better serve a lot of people. But just start thinking about those things so that you can kind of have those solutions and those objectives in mind. So with that being said, I hope you found value in this price update. If you have not subscribed to the channel and you are finding value, please consider doing so. We're going to try and beat 100,000 Bitcoin to 100,000 by getting 100,000 subscribers here on the channel first. So if you can help with that, I'd greatly appreciate it. Leave a comment in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next video.